Hey everybody out there in the comic book and internet world, and welcome back to another Dark Avenger Comic Book review. This is officially the 160th Dark Avenger Comic Book review, with only 40 more episodes to go before 200.
Wow, we've made it.
Wow. 160
awesome.
Weeks consecutively. And even if we were late, consecutively. We made sure not to skip any weeks worth of comics. 160 weeks in a row, even if they were late. We still did
60 weeks of joining since episode 100. Or was it before episode 100?
You joined before episode 100, I believe.
So I think 80s, 90s-ish?
Yeah, and ish, yeah.
Ishy-ish. Oh, you should weigh my baby.
So when are you reviewing that book?
What book?
Never mind.
Oh, no. I saw what you did there. Let's get into this week's comic books.
Okay, we will. Comic book news-wise, not really much going on. I hope you guys once again enjoyed that trailer teaser thing I put up. As a matter of fact, tonight, because I know this video is going to be going up and everybody's going to see it by Monday morning and throughout the whole day, by tonight, there is going to be an announcement on Dark Avenger Inc. involving one of the teasers that I posted. So one of the teasers is coming out really quick. However, the teaser image, even though I will announce it, it's not going to start. And I'll give you guys a starting date during the actual announcement video. But yeah, one of the teaser images are going to be announced.
And we hope everybody out there had a great Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. Hope you guys had a really good Thanksgiving. Hope you guys had a lot of turkey, ate a lot of food, and enjoyed your comic books this week. We sure did. I really don't have too many minuses. However, I do not have any independent books to talk with you guys about. Transformers More Than Meets the Eyes Robots in Disguise came out. I did say starting the first week of December I would be adding an extra part to these reviews where I'll review my books digitally so that they'll stay on the weekly reviews even though they'll be in a separate part. What I can say is, since I'm not doing it this week and I'm not doing it next week, I can tell you a little bit about the Transformer books. I enjoyed More Than Meets the Eyes. It was fun. It was the end of Shadow Play. Spoiler alert, Rung comes out of the coma. It worked. A lot of talking and a lot of dialogue, and at times it felt like you were just pushing to get through the book. Whereas Robots in Disguise, I believe these are both issue 11, by the way. I'm sorry, I don't have the hardcover in front of me. Whereas Robots in Disguise, and they were released on the week of November 21st, 2012. Robots in Disguise was a little bit more, I don't want to say boring, but it involved Starscream losing popularity and then weaseling his way into getting the popularity back, and then the last page of that issue, I'm looking forward to the next issue a lot. Let's just say somebody's coming back and it's not Optimus Prime.
Oh boy, who do you think it might be?
The opposite person.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to Robots in Disguise next month. Also, this coming week is Transformers Prime. The Dinobots. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. I believe it's the Rage of the Dinobots. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I am going to be reading that. I'll probably do an in-depth review on Dark Avenger Inc., along with the other two Transformer books that I just talked about briefly. I'll talk to you guys about it next episode because it's coming out with the books next week. So let's get into the hardback books. We only have two from DC, and then the rest of this...
November 21st, 2012?
Yes, sir. I already said that.
Oh, okay.
Only two DC and the rest is all Marvel. This is getting bad. This is more like a Marvel review now than anything else. Hopefully I'll grab some more DC books. I did grab a couple, but ever since the relaunch I've just been turned off by this universe. And for example, Green Lantern New Guardians issue 14, all about Kyle Rayner. It starts off with Kyle and Indigo 1 trying to tap into compassion. He does. He's very good at teleporting, as you can see from the first page. And it's two artists, I believe, that do this book. Is it two artists? Yes. Andrei Brishin and Amilcar Pinnar. And you could tell the difference in artwork. Like, right here, this is pretty good artwork. This is okay. But then you go all the way to the middle of the book, right about... It's like towards the end of the book. That's the thing. And then it's like, what exactly is going on? Like here, see again.
Yeah.
With the mask that looks ridiculous. So I'm not a fan of the second artist. I don't know which artist it is. Probably the second name, which is Amilcar Pina. But anyway, as you guys saw, Kyle goes to Acrylo to learn how to tap into the yellow in his ring. He gets another ridiculous costume with this weird, where's a good picture to show here, with like this weird yellow chrome dome hat. And
really?
yeah, so he's basically accessed yellow. They ask Acrylo to go with them because Acrylo is just sitting there on the planet sulking and sad. In the very end, basically Acrylo decides, he says he doesn't want to go, then at the very end he actually says, you know what, I reconsidered, I want to find Sinestro and kill him, and then I'll be the only one that is the wielder of the yellow. Sorry, it's a late night, and I'm going to have an early morning tomorrow apparently.
Late night, but good reading.
Oh yes, absolutely. So Acrylo's going with Kyle and Carol. Also, the Guardians, as you guys know, had to have made an appearance, and it turns out they can't track Kyle Rayner's ring. So the reason that Carol kept her ring is because, well, the Guardians for the Green Lanterns and the Guardians for the for the Star Sapphires are working together. So yeah, they could track Carol's ring. Still no Third Army, though, really. There's no Third Army at all in this book, so the connection to the Third Army, I guess, is very limited with the new Guardians right now, other than the Guardians working with the Star Sapphire Guardians to eliminate individuality in the universe. But I'm sure it's all going to connect at some point. For right now, though, it's just Kyle trying to access all the different rings, and the next issue is all about Kyle accessing the orange part of the color spectrum. So he's going after Larfleeze next. It's hard to give this a very good rating. I would say this is definitely like a 3.5 out of 5 stars this week. It was okay. I'm not a fan of the second artist on this book, though, that's for sure. Next up is Nightwing issue 14. This is the last issue before the tie-in to Death in the Family. As a matter of fact, spoiler, the Joker does show up at the end of this book. The whole issue is Dick chasing after Lady Shiva. It turns out that Sonya, or at least to Dick's knowledge, was one of the targets for Lady Shiva.
Oh wow, the artwork's amazing.
Artwork is awesome in this book. I don't know why this book on certain websites got like a really low rating. I'm really enjoying Nightwing a lot. No Batman, no nothing. It's just straight up Nightwing. Of course, Lady Shiva and Nightwing, you know, even though the fight was awesome, she figured out a weakness. It turned out he had hurt himself.
Looks like Scorpion from Spider-Man.
No. He had hurt himself from the night before, if you remember in the last issue with where he thought he was tracking Lady Shiva, and it turned out that it was just a fake lead. Also, Haley Circus, people are starting to, this little girl is showing concern for herself and her family, and Dick promises that they'll be safe no matter what.
Did you say Lady Shiva? I think that happened in a Green Arrow book, that they were searching for her.
Well, here she is.
Oh, wow.
So Lady Shiva disappears for now, and Dick thought that Lady Shiva called out the hit for Sonya was given to Lady Shiva by Joker, and she doesn't confirm nor deny that. However, for those of you that remember a couple of story arcs back where Raya was working with that guy that was looking to destroy Dick's life, yeah, apparently, and here's another spoiler alert, so if you don't want to see this, I would recommend fast-forwarding a couple of seconds. Joker shows up in front of her cell, and that's where it's to be continued. And it says, next issue, Death in the Family and Nightwing's Nightmare begins. And that's it. Still no letter column. I believe they were supposed to make this a letter column, but they chose to do the What's Next column instead, and this is just, well, it is what it is, I guess. So, it's DC. 4 out of 5 stars. I don't know why people didn't enjoy this. Maybe everybody's so hooked on the Death in the Family that they don't realize that there are other stories going on. Maybe people just don't like the way the story was done. I love the artwork in this book. I absolutely 100% love the art in this book. Tom DeFalco's writing is really good in this book as well. I really don't see how people didn't like this book or gave it such a low rating. I enjoyed it, and I still say definitely pick up Nightwing. All 14 issues have been really good.
But speaking of Lady Shiva, like, is she like a lethal type of person? Since
Oh
like,
yeah.
Because I think
yeah.
it wasn't Green Arrow. I'm not really sure that they were searching for her, but wow, going toe to toe with Green Arrow with her, wow.
Nightwing.
Well, yeah. Well, if it happens in the Green Arrow comic book, you know, it might be a Nightwing Green Arrow crossover.
They did drop a hint that Lady Shiva might be coming back in a future story arc, so it's not the last time we'll be seeing Lady Shiva and Nightwing, at least. Maybe in Green Arrow.
I think Green Arrow, but who knows.
And that's it. That's all I have for DC Comics. That's all I'm buying right now from DC Comics. Next week I break the norm, and I actually get Batman Inc. also because it has Damian as Batman, and I actually like that series, so I'm going to be getting that.
Alright,
so we go on to Marvel. Dark Avengers 183. Still has nothing to do with Dark Avengers whatsoever. It's all about the Thunderbolts disbanding still. So if you, like me, started buying the book at issue 179, you saw a glimpse of the Dark Avengers, their first mission. However, yeah, this issue they are completely MIA except for one panel where I forgot what her name is, and I really don't care what her name is. Does it give you her name in the beginning? Then maybe I'll tell you. The Dark Avengers. Yes, it does. Doxy takes over Scar for a second, and Scar sabotages the ship they're in, and the ship almost crashes, but it doesn't. And Man-Thing saves the day. Hooray. And basically, the Thunderbolts leave except for Mockingbird, I believe her name is, and Troll. Is it Mockingbird?
I believe so.
I believe so.
I think Mockingbird, but I don't think the other one.
Oh no, Songbird. Except Songbird and Troll.
Was Mockingbird.
I'm being honest, guys. After this, after waiting X amount of issues, already 79, 80, 1, 2, 3, 8. After waiting about 4 issues, going through this, and I don't believe it was even 79. I think it was like 176 or something, because that would be too short. This is off to a very, very slow start, and with all the Marvel Now stuff coming out and all the bigger things going on, as much as I liked the Dark Avengers that were run by Norman Osborn, the first wave, second wave wasn't as good as the first wave in my opinion. I guess that's what I was looking for when I started reading this. Even with US Agent coming on board, I think that the next issue I will not be picking up, because as you guys will see really soon, this was a very big week in comics all around, from all over the place. So yeah, I think this is my last Thunderbolts / Dark Avengers issue. However, Michael and me will be getting Thunderbolts issue run. Thunderbolts run by Thunderbolt Ross. We will be getting Red Hulk's Thunderbolts. That looks really good. It has the Punisher.
I'm looking forward to it.
It has Deadpool. Elektra's gonna be. It's gonna be interesting.
I want to see how the Punisher and Deadpool are gonna get along with each other, because they had a little bit of a, like, they don't get along as much.
Right. So anyway, next up, and I agree with a lot of people here, Wolverine and the X-Men 21. I'm glad with the what do you call it?
I'll be right back.
The artwork. Okay. The artwork I'm actually enjoying. It's really good, but the story, especially with the whole X-Men are part of the, somehow brainwashed into believing they're part of the circus, and Wolverine is somehow a sorry about that. What's it called? Revolto the Clown. Yeah, and Frankenstein and whatnot. And it turns out that Max, part of Kate Kilgore's little brotherhood or whatever the heck they're called. I keep forgetting what they're called because it's just not worth carrying.
Oh, they have that thing like they do with the X Factor?
What thing with X Factor?
The roster thing?
Yeah, of course they do.
Oh, I didn't.
Oh god. Oh, the Hellfire Club. I'm sorry. Kate Kilgore's Max from the Hellfire Club. Turns out it says he's the latest descendant of Frankenstein, apparently. Really? But anyway, yeah, he's the Frankenstein's descendant. Frankenstein stealing souls from people and apparently brainwashing the X-Men into believing they work for him in this circus. And the only people that realize what's going on are the actual students in the school. And I noticed something that somebody said that. Did you notice that Wolverine and the X-Men has been coming out consecutively the past 3 weeks? Last week was the issue with Angel, and the week before that was the issue. Maybe not the week before that, but the week before that.
I just realized that just now.
Yeah.
I didn't even.
So
realize that
I believe that somebody brought it to my attention. I believe you're right that Wolverine and the X-Men has been coming out very consecutively, but I believe this is the last one because next week Wolverine and the X-Men do not come out. I believe.
Is this the one with the circus thing? And...
Yeah, I just want this to end. I really, well, reading this book, the only thing I can think of is, oh God, get to the last issue. Just get to the last issue already. It's just, this is kind of...
I'm even looking at it, I'm not liking it.
Yeah, and then in the end, it turns out that his sorcerer, Frankenstein sorcerer, who I'm sure that her name was mentioned somewhere, and I just, is coming to me. She goes to the X-Men, sees the children, my slaves, every child you see, in the name of Frankenstein, sees them all, and then there's the kids from the school there, and they're like, this isn't going to be good. And this is where actually Max you find out that Max is the descendant of Frankenstein, and that's where it's to be continued. Not a huge interest. And
don't tell me it's still continuing.
Oh yeah, next issue.
Oh no.
So hopefully by the next issue it'll be the conclusion to this story. No
Please.
offense to Jason Aaron or Nick Bradshaw, but I'm... the circus idea, maybe it's a good transition story into the next story, but yeah, I'm not a
So there was no
fan of it.
So it wasn't an polka dot afro circus?
No, it was just weird.
Okay.
And Frankenstein
No,
apparently is the guy behind all this, and the X-Men are brainwashed into believing they work in the circus. Kitty Pryde actually says in this book, I feel like I'm in the wrong place, like I should be teaching or something. No, that's not right. And that was like, oh, okay. I don't know. It wasn't a letdown, but it wasn't exactly part of one of the best works that have come out of Wolverine and the X-Men. Speaking of Wolverine, Wolverine 316 continuing with the Dream Maiden. And finally, Wolverine, in the very beginning of the issue, you get more of the flashback where Wolverine leaves the Dreaming Maiden. Actually, it turns out he's actually dreaming. And you find out that she's been very sad, you know, she's very lonely, and at the very bottom panel you can see she's very angry. She grew very angry over the years because he left her there just to rot. He's been there forever. She's been there forever, not he, she. And then Melita decides that she's going to get all of Wolverine's exes together. This happened in previous story arcs as well. And they're going to go save Wolverine and I saw her name. And I saw her name not too long ago. Elsa are prisoners. They're wondering where they are. It turns out they're in this floating castle, which you can see also from the cover. The girls go in and save Wolverine, and the funniest part here is one of the women, I forgot her name.
Who the hell is that?
I believe it's Serpa, her name. She says she brought him an extra pair of clothes, one of his extra costumes. However, it's his very first ever costume, so you get to see him in one book where he's actually wearing the classic Wolverine costume from way back in the day. So that was kind of funny to see him dressed like that. And,
yeah, I didn't notice that because I haven't seen it in a long time.
So then he goes to whatever her name is that's floating around like a magical, mystical being.
The Dreamer Maiden?
No, that's not the Dreamer Maiden. I forgot the woman's name.
No, that's not her.
Vanessa.
Oh.
Vanessa, and she's like, so did you find out where she was? And he's like, yeah, she told me in my dreams and in my nightmares, and that's where they leave you off, wondering where they're going to go next. It actually says to be concluded, so the next issue is the conclusion. I'm not too much of a fan of the next cover, however...
12/12/12, I like that.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? It's going to be December 12, 2012. So, yeah.
It's really something, I tell you.
So, that was Wolverine. Rating system for all Dark Avengers is 1 out of 5. This was, I'd say, a 2.5 to 3 out of 5. And then Wolverine 316 is a
well, give the classics as
3 out of 5.
I'd say 3.5 just for the classics.
This made me very happy. Astonishing X-Men number 56. You know why it made me happy? It's the last part to the story arc that's been going on since I started reading this book. Now, granted, this storyline was divided into 2 parts, divided by the marriage of Northstar and his boyfriend. However, it was all connected. Literally, from the beginning, it was all connected. So, to finally see it's over. Issue 56. Now, I started reading this, it was like issue 48 or 49. This was a long story. And the only thing I could think of was, thank you God, it's over. The X-Men pulled, double-crossed the, oh, I hate these names. Karma's sister, I forgot her name,
I do not think she's...
Susan.
Oh.
And it turns out that Iceman, who didn't see this coming, really didn't die. He, when he turns to ice, it turns out when he transforms, it turns out the nano-worms weren't so hardy. And him and Wolverine and everybody else figured out a cure. She tries to kill them, it doesn't work. Northstar makes quick, and the rest of the X-Men make quick work of Susan's people. Karma tries to reach out for her in her mind, and when you think everything's gonna have like that happy ending, the father does something that's completely like, really? And then Karma actually breaks the news to the father that her and her sister made it, but the mother didn't. Father goes to jail. Turns out that because the father, here's a spoiler for you, so fast forward a couple of seconds, killed Susan. It turns out that Hitachi Tech and all the billions of dollars they have go to Karma. So Karma's technically a billionaire. And then when Wolverine's going to ask her if she's staying with the X-Men or not, she says, I'll tell you, let me sleep on it. And that's basically where it leaves off. And then the next series, the next story arc, the next story is there. That's the next cover. I'm so glad that this story is done, over with, goodbye. Next week, Astonishing X-Men Annual comes out for 2012. I did not
really?
get it.
Why not?
I did not get it because number one, the description didn't interest me. Okay. Number two, it was a $5 book, and on top of New Avengers, there was another $5 book that came out. I don't remember.
But wait, but don't you need annual to understand what's happening more in the book?
No,
or you really don't?
it's a standalone issue, standalone story.
Oh, okay.
I know not too many people read Astonishing X-Men. I like Astonishing X-Men. This story arc was like taking forever to finish. Hopefully the next story arc will be shorter and better, and yeah. The covers for this entire story arc, however, have been really spectacular. This was my favorite one. I've been waiting for this for a good couple of months now. So I saw this in the previews from a couple of months back, and I was like, I can't wait to see this, to get this cover. But I'd say this issue was more of a I can't wait to get the story arc done. So 3 out of 5 for this story. And we have time for Daredevil. Mm-hmm. Daredevil issue number 20. Coyote. Daredevil believes Coyote is the Spot. Is he the Spot or isn't he? So Coyote throughout this entire issue is telling Daredevil all the things, all the rotten, disgusting things he's done, and I'm not telling you guys why, because I want you to buy the issue, or maybe because I'm doing an in-depth review of this. You won't know until the middle of next week when all my in-depth reviews will be done. And also, please tell me there's a roster. Of course there isn't. Please tell me there's a rundown. Kristen goes to the police department, wants to put an APB out on Daredevil because she's telling them that she thinks he's gone crazy. And the guy's like, look at the computer. It says that you guys are in love with each other. If you're having trouble, go figure it out yourselves. So Daredevil gets loose because he was handcuffed. He's actually happy since he's blind. He can actually walk around with his walking cane and still maneuver without his head.
So he's headless.
So basically, Coyote's telling him his whole plan and whatnot, and it turns out, spoiler alert, be warned, Coyote isn't the Spot. Or is he? We don't know. It kind of leaves you off questioning. So he gets to the machine, he's trying to figure it out. Coyote figures something out because Daredevil's been very quiet. And, yeah, he figures out the body's gone, and then Daredevil turns off the machine, the bodies disappear and reattach their heads. Daredevil attaches the thing to Coyote's face and, yeah, turns the machine back on. However, he's shocked to see that the spot's right there with the Coyote. And then the last page I will leave for you guys to figure out next time. But it turns out there are a bunch of very unhappy people. And I'll leave that for the in-depth comic review. You can check that out on Dark Avenger Inc. Or you can go out and buy the book, which is what I recommend, because this book has been flipping awesome. All 20 issues. There hasn't been an issue yet that I've been disappointed with. And it's an Eisner Award winner. Best continuing series.
Huh.
I'm looking forward to what's happening, what's going to happen next, and what's happening in the future with Daredevil. Daredevil has been amazing. Mark Waid has made me like Daredevil, and I can't encourage you guys to go out and buy this book enough. 4.5 out of 5 stars. Why? Because Marvel Now books are going to take a lot of those 5 stars, and also, screw it, it's a 5 out of 5 star book. I can't think of anything bad to say about it. Uncanny X-Force 34. Last time, Evan put on the Apocalypse, the Kid Apocalypse suit. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Have we lost Evan? If you read Wolverine and the X-Men issue 21, you know we didn't. Turns out that the machine, I forgot her name. Does it have it here? Eva ends up fighting with Nightcrawler, the Dark Apocalypse Nightcrawler, because he had ended up, you know, turning on the team a bit. Things didn't go well there. Let's leave it at that. Turns out that Evan went after Mr. Stretchy Skin, the Skinless Man, who was dealt with by Deadpool. And Deadpool, at this time at least, still has his face. So this is pre getting his healing factor back. Basically, let's put it this way. X-Force win, bad guys lose, but that's not the big thing. The big thing here is the fight between Wolverine and Dawkins. For those of you guys that have been waiting for years, and when I say years, I'm talking way back in the Dark Avenger years, for the fight that would end all fights, the fight between Wolverine and Dawkins, where only one can walk away, yes, it's here. And the person who orchestrated this whole thing, you won't believe it, Sabretooth. He orchestrated the whole thing so that this would haunt Wolverine for the rest of his life.
But then you kind of know it since they've been rivals, sort of.
And, yeah, this is definitely something that's going to scar Wolverine for the rest of his life. And I believe the next issue is the end. It says the end question mark. Of course, Uncanny X-Force are coming back, led by Psylocke. I will not probably be reading that. I'll probably be reading Cable in the X-Force. 5 out of 5 stars also. A good book. There are very little to no complaints I have for this book. So guys, with that, I will see you guys. We are actually literally halfway. I can put my hand on top of both paws. We are halfway through the books. So part 2 should be the end. Stick around, guys. We got a lot of Marvel Now coming. See you guys in the next part.